anyhow. He's been here before. And Saccone, his motto is he will introduce you to yourself. And he's a professional speaker, and he has prepared a very special 10 or 15 minute talk for us today that will be very motivational. Isn't that right?
Yes, it will.
All right.
It will. Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I am so glad to be here, and thank Greg for allowing me this opportunity to come and speak to you again. I want to ask you a question. What's the most expensive item you're wearing right now? Your boots, exactly. Everybody's boots. Why are they the most expensive item you have on right now? To support. Anything else? I'm sorry? Safety, okay. All right. And quality, right? Because you don't want to spend that much money for a pair of boots. How much? What's that cost of it? $200. $200? So you don't plan on buying those every 6 months, do you? Every year, maybe? It should last you for how long?
8 months.
A year. Okay, all right. Well, and so if the quality wasn't good, would you go to that brand again?
No.
If they wore out, if they fell apart, if they had holes in them, if you got water in them all the time, you would not recommend them, right?
Right.
Because of the quality of the boot. Well, as technicians, as plumbers, as individuals that help customers, you bring a level of quality to them that they equate with value. You bring a level of quality to your customers that they equate with value. So when they have somebody who needs an issue taken care of when it comes to plumbing, guess what they recommend? They recommend you because of the quality that you brought. Now, even with dealing with customers, one of the first things that I've learned is the importance of telling them or mentioning their name. How many of you watch any Facebook Lives? Anybody? A few? Okay. All right. Now, one of the things that I've noticed on people doing lives is when anyone comes in, they'll acknowledge them. They'll say their name. They'll say, hey, so-and-so, hey, thank you for joining us. And I've noticed that there are people that if you don't mention their names, guess what? They drop off. They go to do something else. But when you're dealing with the customers, acknowledging them, being able to actually say their name, making them feel at ease with the fact that you're there to solve their problems. And you're bringing, again, a level of quality that others aren't. That's why you are, and I've said this before, the Ruth Chris of plumbing. Because of what you do and how you do it. There are a lot of companies out there that can clear a drain. But when they call you, they expect the best. They are looking for the best. And not only that, they want to actually recommend you for the work that you've done. I mentioned your boots and how important it is for you to have a good foundation. And your quality, the quality that you bring to the customers, how you set them at ease, that's just as important as fixing the problem. Because a lot of people can come in and they can actually do what you do, but not the way you do it. That's what sets you apart. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you top of mind. When people say they have an issue, customers, in fact, when you have businesses that have major issues, they don't just go to the yellow, well, when you have yellow pages anymore, they don't even Google folks. They think about who's the best, who is top of mind. And of course, Roto-Rooter is right up there. So your reputation, the reputation of the company comes from you. You become the face of the company. When you show up at the door, you represent Roto-Rooter. They are looking at how you dress, how you speak. Not only that, but how you keep them informed. Some customers just really want to know what's going on. Other customers, they don't even care. And it's up to you to make that determination. Okay, who am I dealing with? Who am I dealing with? Am I dealing with somebody that really wants to know my process? Or am I just dealing with someone who just wants the problem fixed? Because that's going to determine how you need to interact with them. So you really have to do a customer profile. You have to see who it is that you're dealing with. Now, sometimes you're dealing with a stay-at-home mom or a single woman. And again, I've said this before, if you have to go to your truck to get something, she needs to know where you are. Because most of the time she's there alone. So if you have to leave out of the kitchen to go to the truck, Miss Smith, I'll be right back. I gotta go get something from the truck. Just something as simple as that. Let her know where you are. Because if she left you in the kitchen and you had to go to the truck and she come back in there and you're not there, where's this guy in my house? I mean, that's the first thing that they're thinking. So keeping the customer informed and answering any questions that they may have. Greg has talked to me before about there are opportunities for upsells, meaning they called you out for one thing, but while you're there, is there anything else I can look at for you? I mean, it may take 3 or 5 minutes, and you may be able to actually add to that sale, because yes, she called you about the kitchen sink, drip in the bathroom, and so there's another opportunity, in fact, for you to make more money. So don't take it for granted that your customer knows exactly what they need. You are the expert. I mean, that's why they called you. If they could fix it on their own, they wouldn't have called you. But you bring a level of quality to them that's going to make the difference in their life. And that's going to make a difference in your life because it's going to keep you calling back. Greg told me that 80% of your customers are repeat customers. That's outstanding. And I think you need to give yourself a hand. Because y'all are definitely doing a great enough job that people call you back. They call. In fact, my coach, he says, it's one thing to actually get a speaking engagement. It's another thing to get called back because that means you did something right. And with your customers calling you back time and time again, that lets you know that they trust you, that you bring a level of service that they look for and they expect. And why not get that number higher? I mean, 80% is, that's above industry standard, I know. Because y'all are doing such an outstanding job. And again, I keep telling y'all, you're the hero. When you show up, you're there to save the day. It may be something simple to you, but for them it's a headache. It's a problem. You can't underestimate the quality that you bring. And knowing that is really going to affect your attitude in being there. I mean, not that you have to pretend to be a hero, but you are. In their eyes, you are. And making sure that they know that you're going to take care of them. Anytime I have an issue with my vehicle, my mechanic, I know when I take it to him, I don't have to worry about it. Because he's going to fix it. He's going to take care of it. And he's going to treat me right. He's not going to take advantage of me. Now, they need to know that when they're dealing with you. They need to be at ease with the service that you're going to provide. They need to know that I'm getting the best service for the best price. Those are some things that needs to be reiterated in your conversation and in your interaction with the customer. Now, when I talked about at your booths, as I was watching everybody come in, I noticed that everybody had on work boots. And that's a part of your uniform. Well, your quality, your service should be a part of your job. I mean, yes, you can have a checklist of things that you've done and parts that you used, but maybe a mental checklist. Like, did I smile? Did I use her name? Did I answer all of her questions? Did I actually, she had any questions? Oh, he had any questions? Did I answer all of those? Those are things that you can use as your personal checklist to make sure that they are satisfied. And think about it like this. Imagine if you were the customer. What would you want somebody to do for you? You know, oftentimes it's hard for us to be on that other side of that equation. But if you just think about it, there are things in your life, maybe it's with your taxes, or maybe it's with your doctor. Anytime you're getting service, you become the recipient. So what is it that you want people to do for you? Keep you informed, in fact, to actually let you know about stuff that you may not have thought about. All of those things are important. And so when you become the one that's providing the service, well, how would I want to serve? How would I want somebody to actually serve me? And that should be your plumb line. That should be the thing that you use to say, okay, this is how I'm going to offer this service. And I mean, to be honest, it's really a biblical principle. You're doing to others, you will have them do unto you. And so it's really not that hard. All we have to do is take the time to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. And that will help us immensely. Now, I want to ask, are there any questions in reference to dealing with customers? What is the biggest challenge? Well, I'll ask you a question. What's the biggest challenge in dealing with customers? Anybody? So what? Everybody knows. In fact, nobody has a problem in dealing with customers.
Being controversial.
I'm sorry? Being controversial?
Yeah, the customer being controversial.
Okay, in what way?
Process.
I'm sorry?
Process.
Prices.
Prices, okay, all right. Again, showing the value. When I think about the prices that I set, even for my speaking engagements, I know for a fact that I have put in the work. I'm not sure how much training you guys get, but I know that you stay up on your training. The latest technology, innovation, all of that is a part of what y'all do in order to make the job easier. And so it's not just about clearing the drain. Again, it's the value. I mentioned like the last time I was here about y'all on the Ruth Chris of plumbing, and I talked about how even though for Ruth Chris they sell steak, but they also sell something more. They sell value. Because if you went to Ruth Chris and you found out that the bathrooms were dirty, or that the table was wobbled, or that the light was flickering, although the food may be off the chain, you're going to think about everything that went wrong. So when it comes to your customers, they have to see not only the fact that you got the job done, but they have to see the value. And sometimes you have to show it to them. And again, answering any questions. And of course, there are going to be those few individuals that just want something for nothing. But there's a way for you to respectfully help them understand that this problem is fixed and not just temporary. Going back to those boots, if you had to buy them every 6 months, I doubt if you would buy those boots. And especially for $200 a pop, no, there's no way. They definitely have to have quality. And so helping them understand the quality that you bring, the fact that your problem is fixed and solved, and if it's an issue that's possibly that could reoccur, for instance, in fact you have roots growing in a drain, making them aware of that. In fact, making them aware, okay, we fixed it this time, but like, this could be an actual issue down the road. Even with the hot water heater that may be coming close to the end of its life cycle, letting them know, hey, in the next 6 months to a year, this needs to be replaced. I mean, just helping them to understand, instead of just leaving them with a ticking time bomb, you showing them just how much, not only are you trying to care for the company, but for them. And put them in the best possible place, treating them as if they were a loved family member. Because I used to say family member, but some people are like, no, I don't want to help my family. but a loved family member, somebody that you truly care about. And they need to feel that. You know, people, actually, in fact, it was Maya Angelou, in fact, she said that people will forget what you say, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And if you leave somebody's house and they have a positive experience, every time they think of Roto-Rooter, they'll be like, those are the people you need to call. Those are the ones that you need to get to come and fix your problem. Because if you don't, if they don't have a positive experience, well, guess what? They will have a negative one. And they're going to remember that too. I'm sure if I started naming some bullies, if you will, from middle school and high school, you would immediately start thinking about how they made you feel, the stuff that they did. There are some people that I can name right now for myself that really changed my attitude, but it's because of how they made me feel. But there are some other people who actually helped me. Somebody once said that there are 3 types of people you don't forget. Those who got you in trouble, those who left you in trouble, and those who kept you in trouble. And you are the latter. When they call for you, you are helping them because they have a problem. And so be the type of person that has that type of impact, to where when it's all said and done, their experience about Roto-Rooter and about your visit is a positive one. And they would gladly call you back if something else happens. So that's all I have for today. Greg, anything else?
Very good. Very good.
Thank you so much.